It's a wrap. The feds have actually ended Diddy with the introduction of this last witness. We're also going to talk about what is going on with those jury verdict instructions and the fact that they are saying that it is a sneak, whatever. I would say ATTACK, but I don't want to get demonetized. It is a sneak thing that Diddy does in fact plan to take the stand. This is what I'm hearing. We're going to talk about it. That Diddy's planning to take the stand. And on top of that, they are trying to catch the prosecution off guard. Y'all, where do we start? Okay, first of all, let's start with the Diddy nonsense, okay? Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy Monday, happy Monday, happy Monday. We are in the final stretch of the Diddy trial. Now, this case was supposed to rest somewhere between July 4th and July 18th. The defense had anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks to put on their defense. They said they were going to put on the defense. They gave the prosecution a list of hundreds of witnesses that it would, well, not hundreds, but almost 100 witnesses that it would be, the prosecution came out last week and said, Your Honor, it would be almost impossible for them to actually interview all these people and to put them up on the witness stand. So what is really going on? The defense came back and said, Mark Agnifilio, Yana, we're still looking into our witnesses. The prosecution is like, all right, but you're going to have to tell us something because this don't even make sense. Yana, we're still looking into it. Again, Diddy's team has been the master of saying one thing and doing the other. We cannot forget that they are the master of saying one thing and doing the other. Again, what does Diddy's team do? They do something else, and then they tell you something else. Jin said, thanks for the updates. You welcome, Jin. So when they tell us that Diddy is not going to testify, do y'all really believe him? Do y'all really believe him? Do you really believe what Diddy is putting down? That, in fact, he will not testify. Now, let me tell you why it doesn't make any sense. First of all, okay, Diddy is an egomaniac. Now, there's a chance that he really won't testify, but Diddy is an egomaniac. Diddy thinks he can charm a nation. Diddy is sitting there winking at rotten mango, making googly eyes at somebody else, doing this and that, trying to charm the audience. Spoiler alert, he avoids my ass because he already knows, baby, it ain't happening now, not ever. We gonna keep the foot on the neck, on the gas, dig the hole, whatever you want to call it, put that mofo in the ground, okay? But the whole point of the matter is all these people saying we have it on reports that Diddy won't take the stand. They also had it on reports that they were going to put on an all-star defense where there was going to be 2 to 4 weeks of people that were going to come out and prove unequivocally. What did it happen once the government was put to the course with Judge Aaron and the prosecution? It went from 4 weeks to 2 weeks to hundreds, like a list of almost 100 witnesses to, it's going to be 3 to 5 days. And then once Judge Aaron was like, can y'all stop playing and let us know what's up? Come on, like the prosecution is about to rest. They even drew out cross-examination so the prosecution couldn't rest on time. The prosecution thought they were going to rest by last Wednesday or Friday. And what ended up happening? Your Honor, we expect our defense to take 1 or 2 days. Right? Giannis, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Cindy Evans, Nurse Janice UK, Jedi Mind Trick, Honey Say That, and Reds. Make sure y'all and everybody thanks Giannis for putting it out. It went from saying they were going to have an all-star cast and crew to they ain't going to have nothing. It went from Kanye West doing the most, which, by the way, we're going to have to talk about that Kanye West connection because it made me think, what does Diddy have on Kanye? And I'm being serious because Kanye is embroiled in a lawsuit right now with his ex-personal assistant, ex-chief of staff that has an amazing link to Diddy. And you could even argue that Kanye has been doing his best to sabotage Diddy. Even though he's been showing up and supporting Diddy, Kanye can't stand Diddy. Last time he did it, he said, F the J people. I said, they ain't gonna play well because Donald Trump's son-in-law, who he loves very much and is the apple of his favorite child, Ivanka's eye, is hardcore Jay, okay? On top of that, the other time he said something, he literally showed up in a full head-to-toe leather Kate Klan's outfit. How do I look? I think the white one was better, but the black one might work. And I said, baby, I know Gemini mind games, and I know sabotage when I see it, but I'll save that for a different video because it needs to be said. A little link It needs to be said. Might be nothing, or it might be everything. Life is like a box of chocolates. Thank you so much for the super chat. And also, Yana, Artist77, thank you for being a member for 40 bucks. You've been a member since I first started YouTube. You said Tisa's on the scene. Yes, I am. So where does that leave us? Let me get actually back on track, okay? Because it's important to say, I'm Hollywood. Thank you so much for the super chat. So what does this mean? It means that we can't trust a word that Diddy's team says. They have not been honest or forthcoming the whole time. Now, I understand it's trial theory. You never know you will never want the prosecution to know what you're doing, and you want the prosecution to have the least amount of notice that they could ever have. I 100% understand that. I would be doing the same thing. This is legal strategy, but I think it's foolish for us to put faith or stock in anything Diddy's team says, because you know that as soon as Diddy's team releases everything, it's always a 180. They throw mistrials, they do this. I knew they had lost the plot when what is this? Sorry, something fell on me. I knew they had lost the plot. Rance, thank you. When we saw Diddy turn around and nod his head to, I guess, his family and mouth something, and the prosecution said Diddy is still nodding and making testimony, right? Which that's what it is, nonverbal testimony. And Brian still stood up and said, Your Honor, I was sitting by him the whole time, and I can assure you, I'm sorry, that's not Brian Still. Your Honor, I was sitting by him the whole time, and I can assure you. And he staked his professional reputation. Meanwhile, if you look at the court sketches, the court sketch artist has a sketch of the moment Diddy turned around and was nodding his head and talking to the people in the back. And I said, okay, I get it. This is what you're paid for. You guys have lost the plot. But at the end of the day, they are trying to keep him out of prison. And baby, if I was facing life in prison, I would be doing everything I could to stay out of prison. So this whole thing about sources say, Diddy's team says he won't be taking the stand. And Diddy was 100% not taking the stand. His legal team would have gone on record to their best friends, TMZ, and said, the mofo's not getting on the stand, so just knock it off. The fact that they haven't, the fact that they won't, lets me know that there's a lot that they still haven't made the decision. Diddy is an egomaniac. He thinks he can charm everybody. Again, maybe he feels like if he takes the stand for appeal or mistrial via a hung jury, that might mess things up. Again, if you guys don't want to see where the jury verdict is and instructions and the way that they're trying to set things up for appeal versus the way the prosecution is coming for Diddy and they got the foot on the neck. I did a live last night where everybody wondering, is it Rico? Is it Rico? Is it Rico? You don't have to wonder anymore. The feds actually, sorry, I'm trying to dodge mosquitoes. The feds are also, the feds actually proved their whole case. If you read the original indictment had nothing but illegal stuff in it. Every sentence was like, this is a crime, this is a crime, this is a crime. And when you read the original indictment, line by line, word for word, they have proven that all that stuff happened. Again, like I was saying to my friend this morning, right? I was like, yo, Todd, the feds have proven their case. It's like saying, hey, you robbed me. Yeah, but, okay. But the fact that you robbed me, the robbery is a crime. Everything after, yeah, but, that's inconsequential. You robbed me. Look at O.J. Simpson. How did he actually get in jail? Because somebody had stolen his sports memorabilia. Somebody had stolen, and refused to give it back. O.J. Simpson then went into their hotel room in Vegas and retrieved his property. The only thing is, it was a robbery. Now, O.J. Simpson was like, okay, yeah, it might have been, but I was taking back my own stuff. The courts looked and said, okay, but that's not our defense. We are going to get you for breaking an entry and for removing property. We're going to get you for robbery. And yeah, you might have had a reason, but that doesn't hold under the court of law. Yeah, but Diddy has admitted everything he did to Jane Doe. Coercion by force and fraud. Coercion, force, and fraud. Cassie, coercion, force, and fraud. 4 different reasons. But even if you don't believe that he has proven his RICO case, Okay, I'm sorry, even if you don't believe that he has proven the sex trafficking, as much as people want to say, oh my God, it was just DV. Yeah, that's illegal. You still have a bunch of predicate crimes where you are trying to cover up your violence and treatment of women to protect your reputation, and that is the goal of the Combs enterprise. Again, read the indictment. If you don't want to, go watch my live I did last night, okay? The prosecution, without a shadow of a doubt, has proven everything they said in an indictment. And people have forgotten that what's in the indictment, every sentence is an illegal act. That is what it is. But let's get back to Diddy. Because the prosecution has told us A and done B, right? Listen, Yana said you need a super chat to diss or we ain't reading it. That's right. Listen, if y'all gonna be a hater, if you're gonna be a troll, you need to tell Diddy's people to up the salary so y'all can curse me out via super chat. Because like Yana said, baby, we not reading hate mail and disses unless you paying the cost to be the boss. Come on now. Come on now. Hey. Listen, double tap that. Giannis, thank you so much, right? Okay. So make sure y'all double tap the screen or tap one. Just make sure y'all like this live and help me grow. Also, this week, I am going to start cycling into other news. If you guys don't know, I don't just do the Diddy trial. I cover current events. I cover celebrity. If you like the way that yes, we're taking a commercial break. If you like the way that I deliver news, if you like my point of view, if you like my real world analysis, right? Make sure you follow me because I got you. And I'm telling you, no matter what subject I cover, it's going to be a good time. Also, what we got, speaking of a good time, we have merch. We have notebooks. We have mugs. We have t-shirts. Yana, the Diddler did it. We have everything you could possibly want. Listen, come in, shut the door. We have all the slogans. If you guys want a way to support, right, or just show you part of the fam, make sure y'all check out the merch. There's sayings, there's logos, there's everything. Listen, and every month or maybe every few weeks we're going to replenish the merch with different sayings, different logos. I'm trying to expand slowly but surely. I'm like surely but slowly. I don't even know what that means. Okay. Oh, thank you, not banana. You said the merch is so cute. Yes, listen, somebody said free yay from what? Did he seem like he got something on it? I'm going to do a video about that later when I get home. But for right, or maybe on the break, but for right now, it is what it is. Okay, so where are we at, right? I wouldn't believe any of these reports saying that Diddy is not testifying. They're always trying to catch the feds off guard, but I know the feds is sitting on ready. Again, what happened to all Diddy's celebrity friends? What happened to all Diddy's employees saying that? Isn't it funny? Nobody is willing to go on stand, not under direct, because that's friendly fire, but under cross-examination. I know Marine called me Emily. Esteban was sitting on ready, just ready to go, right? Like Mark Garrigo said, it's a six-pack of white women. Diddy got bodied by a six-pack of white women. I hope they literally put, like, when they're done, cheese with six packs, right? Yes, Angel Limbs, I believe we do post to the UK. We do ship to the UK. I think we ship to most countries, but let me just double check on that, okay? But I think we ship to most countries, definitely the UK. So anyway, the whole point of the matter is with Diddy, nobody, and I mean employees, are willing to submit to cross-examination. Direct is where you have to keep it by the book. Cross is when you can get a little. That's why people think that Diddy's team is killing the game. No, you get more liberty on cross, but you also get to perjure people. You also get to treat people like they're a hostile witness. I find it odd that hardly anybody in Diddy's sphere, employee-wise, is coming out and will testify that it wasn't a RICO, that they didn't do this. Diddy should have had every employee of Bad Boy coming up on stand saying, no, I didn't know this. No, I didn't know that, blah, blah, blah. The fact that he can't, the fact that he won't, it tells you everything you need to know. But even then, right, you have to remember that you only need one instance of sex trafficking. Just one instance of sex trafficking, okay? Oh, listen, also, we want to say what's up to Zandra. We've got Darla Mills, ABC Live, on the scene. Teresa Richards, thank you so much. Also, Zandra, we got your girl Darla in the background. I'm not going to photobomb her, but what's up, Zandra? I hope you're having a great morning. And what else can I say? I was thinking about Darla, but I'll talk to her later. Let's get back on the Diddy thing. All right. So again, the verdict instructions, okay? Diddy's team submitted nonsensical verdict instructions. They have to try. It's standard thing. They're literally trying to get more testimony in, more closing argument, more persuasion. If you find you don't need to do that. That's not what happens in a jury instruction. The another set of jury instructions they submitted said just answer yes or no. Because the more vague a jury's ruling is, the more a jury will just say, let's just say, in Diddy's perfect world, the jury comes out and says not guilty. They won't, but let's play make-believe, all right? It's Mel Lexi, right? What happens with that? If they just say he's not guilty, but they don't really speak on why they think he's not guilty, that's grounds for appeal for the government. The same thing if they say he's guilty, but they don't clearly outline on what charges they think he's guilty or why they think he's guilty or how they came to that conclusion, then the defense can appeal. That is why they want vague, bare minimum jury instructions. The prosecution is not having it. They literally said, no, we want you to outline what you have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, why you feel like that. What is your sun, your moon? We want to know your rising. We want to know at what plane was the moon, the sun, and the stars when you were born. They want all the detail because that cuts down the risk of appeal. Judge Aaron has been super lenient on this case. And by that, he has given the defense so much grace. I would argue too much grace, but he wanted to make sure that it doesn't come back on appeal. He wants to make sure he files it. He wants to make sure that this trial is above reproach, and he wants to make sure that he is the 1, the 2, and 3 that will have the final say about what's going on, right? Listen, somebody said, please look over law, government can't appeal. Are you insane? Who said that? Please look up on law, the government can't appeal. Well, do you look at the United States? If it's a not guilty verdict, the government can't, well, actually, I don't even know about the not guilty, but I do know this. The government can appeal any decision that comes down, the same way the defense can. And the prosecution are known to appeal when they don't get the verdict that they want. Who told you that you need to look up the law, the government can't appeal? Who told you that? The only way they can't appeal is if he gets a not guilty verdict. But even then, if it is jury nullification is fine, you got a not guilty verdict. But based off of the evidence and the letter of the law, it is impossible that anybody, a reasonable person under the circumstances, could have gotten a not guilty verdict. Jury nullification, basically saying that the jury don't know ish, they don't know, and this is something that's weird. They can appeal on jury nullification. You need to look at the law. The government can't appeal. Southern District of New York's middle name is I will appeal this. They appeal sentencing. Let's just say that Diddy is found guilty and a judge says, you know what, we're going to give you time served. You can appeal the sentencing because you think it was too lenient. The government can't. You can go for, if it's a not guilty, you can go for jury nullification, saying that there's no way the jury could have gotten that. You can also appeal for a guilty, no, and you can also not appeal, but if it is a hung jury and a mistrial, that's a new thing. Who told you the government doesn't appeal? Y'all need to stop listening to these pro-Diddy channels, and y'all need to stop listening to ChatGTP. Jury nullification, if it's a not guilty, and the government can appeal sentencing or anything else, the same way the defense can. Stop it. The only thing that would stop them is if it is a not guilty verdict and the jury clearly outlines in the evidence and their findings why they found him not guilty and doesn't leave any nullification, any room for nullification or vagueness, okay? Oh, Randy C. said, please hurry up and get your national TV platform. You know what? I might just take this platform to YouTube and start a show and be national. I am Hollywood. Thank you so much for the super chat. It's me, Lexi said, guilty across the board if they're not paid off. I truly, honestly don't think that any juror will be dumb enough to take a payoff. I really honestly don't. I know Diddy has money, but I can't believe that anybody would be so stupid as to actually thwart justice that much, right? Listen, Pamela Washington said, oh my God, Tisa, the government cannot appeal the verdict. The verdict is fine. Who told y'all that? Who told y'all that? That's not true. That is not true. That is not true. You guys are treating this like this is To Kill a Mockingbird. Of course. Every day, we move further and further away from God. Every MFing day. Y'all, listen. You guys take one true thing that might be true in certain circumstances and you apply it across the board. There is something called jury notification. You guys stop. 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 Listen, I'm not arguing with y'all anymore. Let me just move on, right? So anyway, hold on really quick, right? I just need my hands full, right? Anyway, right? Anyway, there is a hung jury, there is mistrial, there is jury nullification. The government can also appeal sentencing if they don't think that sentencing was in the federal minimum mandatory guidelines, okay? Anyway, where else can we go? So anyway, hold on, y'all. I need my hands out. So anyway, we're looking at, hold on. 1 second, I'm just texting. Hold on. Okay. This one is for, so where are we at, right? Where are we at? Exactly. Marie Bowman said this statute provides a legal framework that allows both the defendants and the government to seek appellate review on decisions made in federal criminal cases. Y'all are tripping. I swear to God, people watch one episode of A Time to Kill and To Kill a Mockingbird and y'all be swearing, ask an attorney. Do y'all not know that Diddy has attorneys and even some of your faves in their pocket? That's why Diddy's been trying to get me, well, I believe his team's been trying to get me kicked out of the courtroom. They've been working with bloggers with no integrity to go after me, to besmirch my name, to do this and that, and yet and still the law remains. And the fact that in this day of chat GTP, people are still, oh my God, Tisa, ask an attorney, it can't be appealed. Why do you think that the government is saying, we want this objection preserved? Look at the transcript. Look at the record. We want this preserved, Your Honor. We want our objection on record, because if you do not object to something in real time, you cannot appeal it when it is time for appeals, right? It's me, Lexi said, Diddy is used to being in the control, so he might test. Exactly. And again, I don't take the prosecution's word for anything. That will do. Now, if you guys don't know, how do appeals work in the Southern District of New York? Let me get to my notes app. Appeals from the Southern District of New York go to the U.S. government can appeal a ruling made by the U.S. District Court in the Southern District of New York. How it works. Appeals from the SDNY go to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit, which reviews the district court's decision for legal and procedural errors. The Department of Justice typically files the appeal on behalf of the government. The appeal must usually be filed within 30 days of the final judgment or order, or 60 days if the U.S. government is a party, okay? What kind of rulings can be appealed? Final judgments, after trial or dismissal. Certain interlocutory non-final orders, if they meet specific criteria affecting substantial rights or under collateral order doctrine, or any pretrial decisions in criminal cases under limited circumstances. Like if they're saying, oh, you suppressed key evidence, they can go back and be like, that was the wrong ruling, we want it appealed, and if it is appealed, then there is a new trial. But even all that, final judgments in the Southern District of New York can be appealed, right? Listen, can be appealed. Okay, listen, you guys are talking about, hold on a second. Listen. 1 second. Listen. At the end of the day, it is what it is. You guys can't tell me. I hear somebody saying, Tisa, we're talking about if he's found innocent. Stop doing the Diddy and moving the goalposts. We were talking about whether the government, first of all, Diddy's not going to be found innocent. They have him on the bribery debt to rights. They have him on the kidnapping debt to rights. Those are two predicate crimes on the RICO. They have him for one count of sex trafficking according to what he did to Cassie. They have him on one count of blackmail, when they have him on text messages and tape saying that he was going to 100% blackmail Cassie if she did not consent to more freak offs, and he was going to tell her parents. We have him on the violence and the blackmail when it comes to Jane. We do not know if there's a forced labor. That might not be proven. Or they might say, oh, we don't think it's a thing. The arson, I believe they have them, but it's up for debate. But they have them on bribery. They have them on obstruction of justice. They have them on kidnapping. They have them on attempted kidnapping. They have them on attempted bribery. Because don't forget, one of the hotel people didn't do that. They have them on RICO. They have them on transporting prostitutes across state lines and internationally. They have them on moving drugs across state lines and internationally. And they have him on his employees setting up freak-offs both internationally and domestically. There is no way in God's green earth that Diddy's going to be found innocent of all charges. There is no way. So stop moving the MF and goal. I'm sick of y'all coming in here spreading misinformation. Not y'all, but the people in the back spreading misinformation. Oh my God, TC, the government can't appeal, making a blatant statement. And then when I break it down saying, what y'all talking about? Well, yeah, but that's if he's found innocent. He's not going to be found innocent. At the very least, they got him on bribery. They got him on obstruction of justice. They got him on kidnapping, attempted bribery. They have him on so many things. They have him on obstruction of justice. You know how you know they have him? Because that's why he's sitting in jail now and not walking around freely trying to pay off people. So what are y'all talking about? What are y'all, the people, not y'all, but the people in the back, what are y'all talking about? Stop doing Diddy mess, moving the goalposts. Please stop. Mignonette Bell, thank you so much for the super chat. Listen. No, you guys don't understand. I like getting hype. Nobody's getting to me. This is my natural setting. I'm just a very passionate person. I'm the person on Thanksgiving when they're like, damn, why did they get her started? Because over the pecan pie and over the blueberry pie and over the pecan, the Mrs. Smith apple and pecan pie. I love Mrs. Smith. Those little pies that you have to bake in the oven on Thanksgiving. That is my jam. I don't like pumpkin pie, but over that and some ice cream with some Cool Whip, yes, I'm trying to be toxin free, but I will put that Cool Whip on in a second. The whole point of the matter is, this is just my natural resting place. I like to argue things passionately. It's fun to me, okay? But anyway, let's get into the Diddy thing. I do believe that Diddy's team is we cannot believe them as to whether Diddy is going to testify. And if you look at the ledger, everything they told us, A, they ended up doing B. Last week, 2 weeks ago, they told us they was going to be on for 4 weeks. Then they went on to 2 weeks. Then they said it's only going to be 3 to 5 days. Then they said it was going to be 1 day. And now they're trying to spin it that they're so confident in the case that they're resting. They're not. They're trying to hold something for appeal because they know that Diddy is going to be guilty of at least, out of all the charges, they got him dead to rights for at least 5. That's enough to put him away for the rest of his life. RICO. As much as people want to say it's just DV, DV is illegal. Even if you don't think he was sex trafficking, there was a RICO conspiracy to abuse, kidnap, hold hostage, do all that stuff, right? Listen, the Shadi TV said putting all my 10th grade criminal justice skills. Hey, we know you gets crunk. Exactly, right? Exactly. Marie said a lawyer said a 2-day defense means they know their defense is weak. Not even that. They know their defense is weak because they know that if they put people on the stand, and they're under penalty of perjury, it's going to jam Diddy up more than help him. He doesn't have a defense. And his whole, they were hoes, they loved it, literally showing freak-off tapes of people that they admitted were drugged out of their minds, enjoying it. You think that's your defense? That's your defense? Are we going back to like 1937 where they were saying you couldn't get graped if you got pregnant? You couldn't be graped if you came and you finished? You couldn't be graped? You think that you expect, even that defense, you expect in 2025, able-bodied people to believe that women got trains ran on them by prostitutes with no protection, hired their minds, throwing up, crying, getting UTIs and infections so painful that they were taken out to court, doing that stuff in a dark hotel room with stinky candles and the blinds drawn with baby oil everywhere, so much so that every time you checked into a hotel, He got $6,000 or $8,000 in damage to furniture, baby oil everywhere. And he really loved when they were menstruating. That was his favorite time to partake. Why they have UTIs and pain. And you expect me to believe in 2025 that a woman subjugated herself to that for free rent and to be part of a lifestyle? Stop it. Stop it. I realize Mignette Bell, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. You finding your 40, Navinal, Marsha P, no, not Vinyl, Marsha P, not Banana Enema, Marika Mimi, Jody Johnson Strong. Good morning, sweetie. And Stella, make sure y'all say thank you so much for these super chats. Everybody's showing Mignette Bell. You really expect me to believe that in Al Gore's internet? Oh, also, Danya W said, hey, girl, please stay cool out there today. Y'all already see I am sweating up a storm. I prefer, oh, wait, the press is going in first. I still got a few more minutes to talk trash. Y'all really expect me to believe that a woman literally put her, and who knows what they caught. You expect me to believe that a woman willing, and while it was happening, he would look at them and be like, why are you looking like that? Why are you enjoying it? Can I talk to you for a second? And then would take them into a room and beat them and then come back and make them finish things, to the point of one of the entertainers said that they got ED and couldn't perform because it was so weird and sick and cruel what they found. Every Smex worker said, yo, I think Cassie is a victim. Chaos Forever said, for your morning coffee, please, those eyes should be classified as a weapon. Oh, Chaos Forever, thank you so much, right? Listen, the feds cannot appeal only if it's not guilty. Thank you. Listen, the whole point of the matter is I find it laughable. I find it a joke. Do you really honestly feel for any moment that any woman would willingly engage in that? I know Diddy wants everybody to believe that everybody was so pressed to be a part of the lifestyle, but too much sun, but I'm waiting because we're about to go line up, so I'm gonna wait and run. If you see the phone going like this, you know that we've started lining up, okay? But my whole point of the matter is you cannot seriously, honestly believe that any woman would subjugate, any man, any person would willingly subjugate. And the whole time they've been high out their minds. I get it. There's a lot of people that feel that that's what they get. You was on yachts, that's what you get. I find it odd that a lot of men that talk about gold digging think that there's a price on a woman's body, but yet you're wrong for actually being a gold digger. Again, I get it, but it's just not flying. Anyway, to court, I will talk to y'all soon. See y'all on the break. It's going to be a big day. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.